श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं वन्दे तं सच्चिदानन्दं यतिवर्यं महामतिं वेदान्तसारग्नं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं श्रीगुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं सद्गुरुं सच्चिदानन्दं साधुवर्यं सनातनं सद्वेदान्तप्रवक्तारं सदा स्वान्ते स्मराम्यहं गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशर्षिभ्यो नमो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So with the grace of God, we are looking at first basic principle, which is Sarvatrika Purnanabhava, with the help of our Guruji's book. So we have to conclude that Sarvatrika Purnanabhava. So he is concluding in section D, page number 31.
Okay.
The correct meaning of the term Sarvatrika Purnanabhava. So he says, commonly in Shankara Vedanta, to realize the true nature of the self, a common belief was prevailing, and it is that we have to get some individual mystic experience like samadhi, etc. So that belief is still continuing. It is not there was a belief, and that belief now also it is continuing even in the school of Shankara Vedanta. That is the mutts, whatever may be the Amnaya mutts or whatever, which where they are telling that they are from the tradition of Shankaracharya. They are also saying that we have to attain some samadhi to achieve moksha. On this belief, the aspirants were trying to understand Shankara's teaching. On this belief only, they are trying to understand the philosophy of Shankara, so which is not supposed to be there. Till Sri Satchidananda Saraswati Swamiji dawned on the horizon of Vedanta, there was no usage of this fundamental, that is, universal acceptance and comprehensive vision of the world of life. So because he only after Swamiji came into picture, and when he found the gems of Shankara Vedanta, the gem of the Shankara Vedanta was beneath the ocean. So Swamiji himself has took that gems and has presented to the world. The word Sarvatrika Purnanva denotes the above set criterion. The readers are referred to English introduction to Mandukya Rahasya Vruti by Swamiji. Anubhavasya Pramukhyam. So what is the importance of the Anubhava? That if you want to go through by Swamiji, you have to read that introduction. The predominance of Anubhava. Here he has given the correct meaning of the term Anubhava. The word Anubhava is not used in Vedanta in the sense of perception, feeling, or emotion, or newly acquired mystic experiences through the practice of japa, meditation, or practice of Patanjali Yoga, which is called mystic experiences. The term Anubhava, which is used in Vedanta, is different. So when you say Anubhava or experience in the world, the meaning will be always different, because when I say experience, so the term experience, the definition of the term experience will differ in different context. So when you give the resume in front of interviewer, so when you say experience, how many experience in this job, in this field, so that will come into picture. Whereas common man experience, if you want to say, So that will be always the experience of the past, experiences of the sense organs, etc., etc. But the experience which is mentioned in the Vedanta, it is different. That is, Anubhava means the Atmanubhava itself. Have the concern with the individual, and which also vary from the individual to another, because the individual experiences always vary. So if the experiences, so divyanubhava or bhavyanubhava, which we get after getting some siddhis by doing these practices, that will always vary. So because, as I mentioned, so you may lift, means by sitting in Padmasana, one may lift 1-2 inches, another may lift 2 feet. That always will differ. But that which is common to all, by which the waking, dream, and deep sleep states are directly intuited. Those three states are directly intuited without the intervention of any of the sense organs. So that's why in Kathopanishad it says, Swapnantam Jagaritantancha Ubhav Yenanu Pashyati. So the one who sees directly the entire dream and the waking state, so that is the real Anubhava. That is you. So you are objectifying the entire waking and dream state. So in the Kathopanishad, that is the only mantra which has Avastatraya, which is Swapnantam Jagaritantancha Ubhav Yenanu Pashyati. So the one who is the seer of Jagarita and Swapna, the whole waking and the whole dream, so is the Mahantam Vibhamatmanam Matvadiro Nasochati. So the one who takes that standpoint, so he is the realized one. So that's why that which intuits the entire dream, waking, and deep sleep is the real experience. That sleep directly to the waking intellect, and that which gives room to differentiate the waking state from other two states. So how will you differentiate? So with the help of that Anubhava, with the help of that Sakshanubhava, which we are going to deal in the next basic principle, with that help itself, we can able to see as well as differentiate that this is a waking state and this is the deep sleep state, where I have not seen anything, any deep, and there was no waking as well as the dream state. That differentiation also is possible through this experience, and which is not relying on the functions of the sense organs or the mind, etc., etc. So mind or any sense organs can't objectify the entire deep sleep, the entire waking, or the entire dream also. So because the sense organs is in the waking state, that entity which is in the waking state can't objectify the entire waking state. Okay, and which is itself the true nature of the consciousness of one's own. That witnessing self itself is called as Sakshi Anubhava or intuition in the Vedanta. That itself, that Anubhava, the witnessing principle is called Sakshanubhava, or in the English, if you want to say, intuition in Vedanta. This clarity regarding the word Anubhava representing the true Shankara Prakriya has not been told by any Vedantin except Sri Swamiji of Varanasipura in the holy history of Vedanta. In the whole history of the Vedanta, this kind of definition of the Anubhava, it has not been told by anyone after the Shankara tradition of Sureshwaracharya, I can say. So this is a revelation in the field of Shankara Vedanta brought about by Sri Swamiji. By this, Vedanta has been rescued from the belief that the Advaita Vedanta also is a cult, just like Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, etc. Swamiji has thus showed that this is the universal truth which could be got the capacity of understanding. That's all. The aspiration is the only qualification. With that, anyone can know the self. So it is not like you have to know the Vyakarana, grammar, or Shastra, so or Veda. So nothing is required to know the self. To know the self, the only qualification is so to have the aspiration, the mumukshutva. So I have the intense desire, intense aspiration that is very much required. So the one has to get ready to know the self. He has to get ready in such a way that he should be ready to sacrifice anything in this world. So that person only can able to realize and realize by following the teachings of the Shruti. So conclusive remarks regarding the first fundamental principle. Thus, so it is concluding by mentioning some of the Shruti Vakya, because one shouldn't be in the impression that the Swamiji or Shankaracharya has told as per their opinion. It is not their opinion, but it is also mentioned in the Shruti and the Smriti. Thus, the comprehensive vision of life and universal acceptance is the first fundamentals of Shankara Vedanta. In Shruti and Smritis, the transcendental reality, that is, the real nature of the self, is described as the self of all. So, transcendental reality and apparent reality. So, apparent reality is the world, which is also called empirical reality in English. So, prapanchika anubhava, okay? And this transcendental reality, that is the paramarthika anubhava. So, that paramarthika anubhava is the real nature of the self. That itself is the self, is described as self of all. Self of all. So, whatever you see, the self of all, the material made by clay, the self of all the material like spoon, plate, tumbler, or whatever. What is the self of all? It is a clay. If it is made by clay, it is the steel. If it is made by steel, all the things. If you go to the steel shop, all the things, the substratum of all the things is steel only. The material is steel only, but that's why it is called steel shop. Okay. So, for example, in Upanishad, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Eko Devaha, Sarvabhuteshu Gudaha, Sarvat, say, he is Atman of the all. It will proceed like that. Eko Devaha, only one God is there. Sarvabhuteshu Gudaha. Sarvabhuteshu Gudaha means what? So it is not like Sarvabhuta is there. In that, this Bhagavan Deva is there. Not like that. That the Sarvam, whatever, all the Bhuta means what? All the individuals, whatever you see, is an appearance on him. That is the thing here. And Kathopanishad says, Yesha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Kuto Atma, Gudo Atma, Yesha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Gudo Atma, on all the individuals. So this Atma is there. Again in the Kathopanishad, Ekas Tatha सर्वभूतात्तरात्मा, एक ही भगवान सर्वभूतों में है. एंड इन भगवत गीता, समोहम सर्वभूतेषु, equally he is there even in small ant and a big elephant also. So his entity is not varying in all those beings. So he is there, Sarva Bhuteshu, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. And in 13th chapter, he says, Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu, Tishtantam Parameshwaram. And in 10th chapter, 20th shloka, Ahamatma Gudakesha, Sarva Bhuta Shestitaha, Sarva Bhuta, so Ahamatma Gudakesha, I am there in all the living being. So the one, if you want to say me, before telling anything, first you have to identify yourself as me. So if you are telling me, it is me means what? It is me, my Vasudeva, Paramatma, you are telling. So that's why if you want to tell a Vibhuti means what? It is the 10th chapter has come to tell the Upasana part. Okay. Even in the Upasana, the first Vibhuti, if you want to tell, Bhagavan says that, so because it will start from here. If you want to do the Upasana, Upasaka should be there. The Upasaka or whatever you say, if you want to tell me, the me, whatever me say, it is me, the Vasudeva Tattva, you are telling as me. That is the first Vibhuti. After that, you continue, so Bhagavan will continue with the other kind of Vibhuti. Okay. So then, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridya Sheshta Narchate Brahman Sarvabhutani Yantradu Anarvodani Maya. In the 18th chapter, he says, so all the activities in the world is running through that Ishvara which is present in all the living being. And the 13th chapter, he says, Kshetrangam Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. Sarva Kshetreshu. So the Sarva Kshetra is as per the Jiva Drushti. But Bhagavan is telling, as per you, whatever Sarva Kshetra you are looking, that is the thing. You are looking. Looking can't be a real. So it looks to be there. But what is there? This Kshetragna. Kshetragna is Bhagavan himself. You are looking that Kshetragna as an individual. That's why Sarvam came into picture. But reality is what? So Kshetragna alone is available. If Kshetragna alone is available, the Kshetra doesn't have any existence. That's why only Kshetragna also will be negated and Gna only will remain. That is himself. Okay. In this way, the comprehensive vision of life, which is explained above, is another important thing in Shankara Vedanta. This is hinted by the following mantra. Okay. So, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Shanti Mantra, which is very famous and important mantra, which is Purnamadam Purnamidham, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vasishyate. So here the meaning Guruji has told, here it is hinted that by the word idam in Purnamadam, Purnavidam. So idam indicates the appearance and disappearance of the universe is to be taken as a whole. The word idam in this mantra denotes the entire appearance and disappearance of the universe. So to take the whole idea of the universe. So not only the idea of the universe which modern science has told, the universe which is been defined in the Vedanta, both manifest as well as the unmanifested universe you have to consider as a whole. Okay, you understood? So that's why. So slowly you have to contemplate. So while telling or also while reading, you can read as per your understanding level. But the thing is, the contemplation you have to do by yourself. So what is it is denoting? Idam means what? When I say idam, so idam means what? Whatever we can see here. So we have to include, it shouldn't be only the microcosm. It should include microcosm as well as macrocosm. That is samashti and veshti. Samashti, everything. Anything with Adhyatmika, Adhibhotika, Daivika Prapancha, Karya Karana Bhava, everything which is appearing. And its seed form, which is Bija Swarupa, it is unmanifested form. Everything as a whole, you have to take into consideration. It is idam. Okay? That is, this is also Purna. This is the comprehensive vision regarding the world. comprehensive vision regarding the world. Okay, you just remember. So modern science, all modern science doesn't have the comprehensive vision regarding the world also, that I already mentioned. So that's why if you look into the Vedantic view, that comprehensive vision have to take regarding the world. By the word Adam, what is the meaning of the Adam? Purnamadam. Ada, it is denoted that one's own true nature of being, which is a substratum of the appearance and disappearance of the universe. That is the Brahman or the real nature of the self. Okay, that denotes the word Adam. Okay, that is the substratum, the whole appearance and the disappearance, the whole. Who is cognizing it, who is objectifying it, and the entire saram, substratum, essence of the whole appearance of the and disappearance of the world, the entity which is called the sakshi or the real nature of the self, that denotes Adam. Okay, that is the Brahman or the nature of self. And then, okay, once you understand the term idam and adam, then comes, and then one should observe the perceivance of this self. Understand carefully. Perceiveness of this self. So there is idam and adam. Okay, so perseverance of this self in the old world, in the appearance of the whole universe. That is Purnat Purnamadachati. So when Ganesh Vigraha is made, okay, after finishing everything, coloring or whatever, okay, so your Ganesha Vigraha will be ready. In the Ganesha Vigraha, so all the parts of Ganapati, his ears, nose, eyes, trunk, laddu, stomach, pada, everything you are mentioning by its name and form, but all is perceived by the clay itself. The clay is the substratum of the entire Ganapati. So here it is made of wood. So wood is all pervading. Whatever you can say, this is a pita, this is gada, this is ankusha, or whatever. All is vyapaka. All is made of wood alone. That is the term pervasiveness, vyapaka. It's all vyapaka by this Adam, that is the self alone, that we have to observe carefully. So that requires a lot of sadhana, okay? So just to think of it requires a lot of sadhana. That is, sadhana is very, very, very important. Without sadhana, so we will not be ready to grasp any teachings of the Vedanta. If you can't grasp any teachings of the Vedanta, taking standpoint in itself will be very long time. Okay, it will be a very long way to go. So that's why that is very important. By this, when the universe is falsified, by this you have to falsify the universe. Like how you will falsify the appearance of the all made of the word, names and form of the word. Ultimately, it is made of wood. Ultimately, it is made of clay. Ultimately, it is made of steel. Ultimately, it is made of gold. If you want to tell the different examples, ornaments, ultimately the value will be for the ornaments. If you have got 1 kg of golden ornaments, the value will not be for different type of ornaments. That will be useful only for vyavahara. It will be useful, but ultimately, if you want to sell and if you want to keep it in a locker, so why will you keep that in a locker? If it is made of iron, you will not keep it in a locker, because the value of the ornaments is with the substratum of the ornaments, that is iron or the steel. So if it is made of steel, you will not put in a locker. If it is made of gold, then only you will put in a locker. Why? Because the value is there with the material of the ornaments. So like that, so there while using the ornaments, you already falsified the appearance of the ornaments, because you are wearing the gold. Ornaments is just for the demonstration, that's all. So at the time of wearing the gold itself, you already at the time of wearing the ornaments, at that time itself you already falsify and look that as a gold alone. Like that here in the Drashtanta, you have to entire universe, both manifested and unmanifested universe, you have to falsify by observing like this, carefully observing that this alone is all pervasive. This is falsification. Universe is falsified, then the falsification is called as Purnasya Purnamadam. This entire falsification, this kind of falsification is called Purnasya Purnamadam. Yes?
सर एक क्वेश्चन है सर, इसमें लिखा हुआ है अदाह it is the denoted that one's own true nature of being which is the substratum of the appearance and disappearance of the universe, that is Brahman. तो Brahman तो appear और disappear नहीं होता है, वो तो unchanging.
ब्रह्मन तो
unchanging है, तो वो तो unchanging है ना, unchanging.
डिस्टर्बेंस क्यों हो रहा है पता नहीं है, वो ये स्पीकर रखा है ना, डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है.
हेलो
हाँ बोलिए.
हाँ सर, ये इसमें लिखा हुआ है कि यूनिवर्स जो है
यूनिवर्स जो है
उसका मतलब अपीयरेंस एंड डिसअपीयरेंस दैट इज ब्रह्मन, क्योंकि ब्रह्मन तो अनचेंजिंग है, तो वो कैसे अपीयर और डिसअपीयर होगा?
appearance and disappearance is not a Brahman. So the appearance and disappearance, the world whatever you can see, it is idam. In this mantra, in this mantra, you have to understand what is adam and what is idam. So idam means what? So idam means whatever we are seeing over here, whatever we are seeing. So all the things whatever you can see. So we have to have a comprehensive vision. So if we can't say that at home alone. So not only your home, the entire universe, appearance of the world and disappearance of the world, whole you have to consider. Okay, that is, what is that? Idam. So Adam means what? Adam is not the appearance and disappearance of the world. Adam means the Brahman. So
true nature.
So the true nature of the self, which is the substratum of the universe. So the one who can see, that's why I told in the Kathopanishad mantra, the waking state can't objectify the other two states, because it is a field of waking state. So the one who is seeing the entire waking and dream state can't be in one of the state. He should be away from that state, and he should be vyapaka, pervasive in all the states. Okay, that is Adam. Understood? Okay. And Purnasya Purnamadaya. That is falsification is Purnasya Purnamadaya. Shankara writes here as Tiraskritya. That is by negating Tiraskritya, falsifying, negating the universe, which is only an attribution due to the ignorance. So when you want to negate, so by keeping your mind on the world, you keeping attaching your mind on the world, it is very difficult to negate that. So that's why slowly you have to get out of the world. Get out of the world means what? Living in this world itself, you have to slowly leave the attachment to the world. That is the beginning state. If you won't complete the beginning state, that is a sadhana state, it is not possible to negate at all. Okay? Due to the universe, which is only attribution to the ignorance. That's all. Falsification is that's all. It is appearance. You have to know that it is just an appearance. If it is an appearance, it have to falsify. That's all. Appearance can't have its own existence. If it has got own existence, you can't falsify. Correct. If the snake is really there in the rope, you can't remove it. If there is separate entity of rope and separate entity of snake together, it is not possible. If it is there, you can't separate it. You can't remove it. It can't be falsified. Falsification is only possible only if it is an appearance. That's why this entity itself, it is not there, just like a dream. So dream you will falsify. No one has to teach you to falsify dream, because anyone, if you ask, it can't be a Indian alone. Even if you foreigner, if you ask, will you falsify the dream state? Yes, he can say he can falsify the dream state. That is because that itself is not there. But you can't falsify the one who saw the dream. Dreamer can't be falsified. The things in the dream can be falsified. Dreamer can't be falsified. Dreamer is present. The things, if you falsify the things in the dream, so there is no question of dreamer at all, because with the from the relative standpoint of the dream, you are telling the dreamer. When you falsify the things in the dream by judging that it is an appearance, so the term dreamer will be falsified. Then what will remain? What will remain? You shouldn't tell the answer. You have to investigate. What will remain? Me, the self alone will remain. The same self is carried forward here also in the waking state. But here we have attached to this world, thinking that it is real. Okay, that's why this kind of falsification you have to do. That's why it is called Purnat Purnamadachati. So as a result of that, what will happen? After negating, the infinite Brahman alone will remain. That is Purnameva Vasishyati. That alone, the Purna Swarupa of Brahma, that alone will remain. Okay. This kind of mantra, many Gurujis who claim themselves as Gurujis, they have defined in as per their own way. So I think Ravi Shankar Guruji, once I saw his video, he was telling that mother is Purna, child is Purna. So Purnam, mother, from the mother is Purna, from that Purna, child is Purna. So from Purna, Purna has come. So like that, he was explaining the meaning of this Shanti mantra. Okay, you leave that. So here, the life in its reality is a pure being and the substratum of the appearance of the universe, which is the infinite, and the universe, which is the appearance of the pure being from the standpoint of the ignorant. are also taken as a whole. Apart from these two, the pure being as substratum and the appearance of the universe due to ignorance, there is no third type of experience in our life. No way. So we can't find any kind of the experience apart from these two. Hence, this is the correct view of the comprehensive vision of life. No other science except Vedanta has got this type of the comprehensive vision of life. All other sciences have relied on the biased opinion of the waking state alone and taking the individuality as our true nature. But in Vedanta, the microcosm as well as the macrocosm, macrocosm is a macrocosm, it is individual jiva, vyashti, aham, aham, ahankara, and the macrocosm means samashti, the cosmic cell, the Hiranyagarbha, the entire highest appeared form are taken together as one unit, along with the substratum, which is the our true nature. Okay, so both we have to take into consideration the appearance and the substratum. So that is called Chidabhasa. Okay, that Chidabhasa, if I tell that name, if you are not familiar, it would be difficult for you. Okay. So later what will happen? So in Chidabhasa, there is a Jiva, that is another name for Jiva, where Abhasa is also there, and Chit Swarupa, which is Atman. Both is there. So when you negate the Abhasa, which is the appearance, the Chit Swarupa only will remain. And along with the substrata, which is the true nature. Hence, this view is a method of seeing the life as a whole. You have to see life as a whole. This is the first fundamental principle of Shankara Vedanta. If an aspirant understands this, it will be easy for him to know all other teachings of Shankara Vedanta. That's why it is first most important principle of the Shankara Vedanta. Now we have to discuss the second fundamental principle, which is cognizing the witnessing principle of life, which would be easier. Which the life, which would be very easy after knowing the above first fundamental principle. You know, don't know about the Sarvateka Purnamidham, it is not possible to know correctly the witnessing principle of life, which is Sakshi. It's about see the second fundamental principle, which is Sakshi Swarupa. So now, the second fundamental principle, which is cognizing the witnessing principle of voice, which is the substratum of Vyakrita and Avyakrita. So he says, nature of the witnessing principle. So I think I will take this in the next class. But before that, I just want to say one thing, because when we were dealing on the Avastatraya Viveka, so we saw this the principle of the Sakshi Swarupa. So in the Mandukya Upanishad, it says, so to know the self, that is to know the Atman. Soyamatma Chatuspat. Ayamatma Brahma, to know that the substratum of the all is Ayamatma, it is within me only. So how to do that? It says that Soyamatma Chatuspat. So we have to the four padas. That is Sonapada, Sushuptapada. So these three padas, when Shruti gives an instruction, so we can follow and we can validate that. Jagritastanaha, Bhaishpragnaha, Sapnanga Ekonamshitimukaha, Stulabuk, Vaishwanarha, Padavapadaha. So you can easily know. So because there is nothing which is not in your experience. It defines the entire waking state. And when it is defined, the dream state, Swapnastanaha, Pravivikta Bhuk, Saptanga Ekanimshadmukaha. And so this is Tejasapada. So Tejasapada and Vaishvanarapada. So the name is told, Vaishvanara is told from the standpoint of the waking state. Tejasa name is told from the standpoint of the dream state. The same Atman, the entire Atman, the entire substratum of the waking state is named as Vaishvanara in relative to the waking state. That you have to understand. Okay, the term Vaishvanara is self itself, Atman itself. The term Vaishvanara defines Atman itself, but from the standpoint of the waking state. The entire witnessing principle of the waking state is Vaishvanara. The entire witnessing principle of the dream state is Tejasa. Okay? So the entire witnessing principle of the deep sleep state, because witnesser should be there to see, to say that nothing was there, nothing in the sense dream was not there. To say that also, the witness is required. So that is prajna. Okay. So this we all know. It is in our experience. But the fourth one, which actually in reality is not four, that is because that one which you named as Vaishvanara from the standpoint of the waking state, Tejasa from the standpoint of the dream state, Prajna from the standpoint of the sleep state. But in reality, so the name has come by the Upadhi, that's the adjunct. So when you negate these things, the Turiya Tattva only will remain. That means which is prevailing in all these three states, which is there in all these three states. सत्ता जो ये सभी तीन जगह पर था, वो ही हमारा तुरीय स्वरूप है. तुरीय मतलब क्या है? ये आत्मस्वरूप जो हमारा तीनों जगह मतलब क्या है? ये जागृता, स्वप्न और सुषुप्ति में था ना, वो ही हमारा आत्मस्वरूप है. हमारा बीइंग, हमारा सच्चा स्वरूप वही था. उसका नाम तुरीय रखा है. तुरीया ये सभी नाम है. ब्रह्म स्वरूप का कोई नाम नहीं है. बोधन सौकर्य के लिए ही ये नाम रखा है. अलग अलग नाम रखा है बोधना सौकर्य के लिए ही. इसके बिना बोधन नहीं कर सकता हम. Without using any word, we can't teach anything. That's why it is an attribution. That is called adhyaropa. Okay. So that is the witnessing principle. So we can able to say that question is very important. Who is the dreamer? Who saw the dream? This is a basic question. So see, first you have to contemplate on dream first. Then you have to go for the deep sleep state. Who saw the dream? If you ask the person who saw the dream, and you have to think yourself, because if you want to answer where the answer is coming, so when you are explaining the dream state, from where the answer is coming, is it coming from the mind or the chitta of this waking state? No, because this was not there. Because if you want to explain any kind of situation, your mind should be present over there. Otherwise, you can't tell anything. So that's why it is called Sakshi, right? So in the court, there will be a witness. So in the witness box will be there, they will put the witness. Imagine some murder has happened. For that murder, if the lawyer call that witness, that him as a witness, means what? He was there and he have seen that incidents of the murder. That's why he is in the witnessing box. Okay, he should be there at the time of murder, and the same person, is there in the witnessing box. Correct? Then only he will be called witness. Right? Observe carefully. Very important. But here, this entire body, mind, intellect, nothing was there in the dream. This waking state, body, mind, intellect, the psychophysical complex, here, the entire thing was not present in the dream state. That you have to accept, right? When you accept, after accepting, you should not give your own opinion. Own opinion means what? Which is not valid for the Sarvatrika Anubhava. If you want to, if you say something, so judgment should be with the Sarvatrika Anubhava. The judges may give wrong judgments in this world, but this judgment will be given by the Gnanis only. Once you realize that judgment which comes from inside, this intuition, that intuitional judgment can't be false. It will be always true. So that's why after you understand that this was not there in the dream, so then who was there to see that entire dream? Our own consciousness. So that's why just think, Ramana Maharshi thought was this kind of thought only. So if I die, will I leave everything? So because here, when I am here, I have a consciousness that I am this. I am seeing the entire world. If this body dies, what is death? Death means what? Is it vanishing everything? Yes, this body will get vanished. After that, this consciousness also, will it get vanished? You need not have to go, you need not have to do this, commit suicide for that. So here itself that experience is there. Because in the dream state or in the sleep, we were not having attachment to this body, mind and intellect. It is just an attachment. That's why we have gone through the Adhyasa Bhashya. This is an attachment. Vishaya Vishani attachment. So these attachments were not there. So because without this attachment also, our being continued. So that means what? Even after that, will continue. That is proved. And we will be, our consciousness also will continue. Our conscious will never die. This consciousness which you are seeing, the consciousness which has come from eye, nose, ear, skin, everything, the source of it is that only. That from pure consciousness only, these consciousness are working. Sense consciousness, that karmendriya consciousnesses are working. Yes, tell me.
Is number 35. So
35 में
35 का जो पैरा है फर्स्ट.
So here the life in its reality is the pure being and substratum of the appearance of the universe, which is the infinite, and the universe is the appearance of the pure being from the standpoint of ignorance are also taken into consideration. Life in its reality is the pure being. In its reality is the pure being alone. And the substratum of the appearance of the universe, which is in the infinite, and the universe, which is the appearance of the pure being, okay, from the standpoint of ignorance. So appearance and appearance or whatever is only from the standpoint of ignorance only. But from the standpoint of the witness, there is no question of the universe at all. When you say universe, it is from the standpoint of ignorant person, or also taken as a whole. Okay, that is the meaning. Okay. So here, so he is concluding that the Purnanubhava. Okay. So if you have got any question, you can ask in the study circle. You can discuss that. So that is on the Sakshi. Who is the seer of the dream state? I mean, dream state. So that you have to contemplate. First, you have to come to a conclusion that this entire psychophysical complex was not there in the dream. That is first thing. So later, if it is not there, who was the messenger? Who was the messenger from the sleep, from the dream to the waking state? Who explained the activities happened in the dream? Who is that? You shouldn't give the answer. If you give the answer, you are the liar, because if you give the answer, you have to take standpoint properly. You shouldn't say Brahma, Atma, Ishvara, nothing. Narayana, Krishna, Vasudeva. It has just come from your tongue, that's all. That's why investigation. You have to do the investigation. Shodha. Investigate. Who is the dreamer? Dream things, dreamer. Dream things, dreamer. If dream things was not there, what is remaining there? So that remaining thing, that is the being, our own being, that is a consciousness, the pure consciousness. With that power of consciousness itself, you can able to objectify the entire dream. Entire dream, both microcosm and macrocosm of the dream. In the dream also both are there, samashti, vyashti. In the dream, the individual of I, you will be roaming around the world. You may see entire America there. That is Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, which support both the Adi Dhatmika, Adi Daivika. So all those things are consciousness alone. Consciousness alone is there. Then all the things which is appearing, which is appearance on this consciousness. So that you have to think properly. After that only, we can able to understand the second fundamental principle, which is the witnessing and sakshi, that we will see in the next class. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Om Sharshibhyo Namo Mahabhyo Namo Gurubhya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tasya Shri Krishna Vastu.
Sir.
Namaste.